Thank you, Madam Speaker. Again, I sit here literally confused about this bill. You can't leave a gun in a locked car for fear it will be stolen, but if you lock it in a case, now it's not feared to be stolen or grabbed out of your car. I just, as a woman, I stand here with this senseless legislation. House Bill 1348 manages at the same time to defy common sense and be dangerous for law-abiding citizens. And how are we enforcing that? Let's say I get to my car. Are the cops gonna come and make sure I had it locked up? I'll tell you, I'll buy a lockbox, but I'm not locking my gun up, and I'll tell my constituents to do the same thing. It defies common sense because criminals all over the state will know, thanks to this bill, that hard cases and vehicles contain firearms. They don't now have to waste their time looking under seats or trying to open glove compartments or breaking into middle storage areas of the vehicle. Instead, they can just locate the hard case, steal it, and be gone. Can't take more than a few seconds. And what's the difference with your wallet? I mean, all of us hide our wallets. You think that concealed carry owners are just throwing our guns on the seats and saying, take it? We know where we live. We live in the fourth least safest state in the freaking United States. Concealed carry owners aren't just throwing their guns on their seats. It's a joke. It's a joke that stealing a firearm of low value is less serious than improperly storing a firearm. So now you can steal a firearm and get less of a sentence than improperly storing a firearm. It makes absolutely no sense. We voted down Representative Armagost's penalty for theft of firearms bill. That would have made it more of a crime to steal a firearm. And because we voted that down, now we put our gun in a lockbox and we get a $500 fee. My mind is actually blown. I was trying to explain this to my husband and my constituents, and they're like, please explain it. I'm like, I can't explain it. I can't explain that we voted down a bill that would make it more of a felony and more of a penalty to steal said firearm. And now we're gonna make it a $500 fine to not lock up said firearm. I mean, my constituents are like, what are we doing down here? Most civil infractions in the state carry a maximum penalty of $100 unless otherwise stated by statute. This bill makes the maximum penalty $500 for just a civil infraction. So I'll start keeping up with the money, because it ain't gonna happen. And let's talk about the different crimes that we have in Colorado, because I think this is important, especially for a woman. Sexual violence rate in Colorado is higher than the national average. We know that women in this state are stalked, are watched, and it's not fear-mongering because I have the statistics right here. 1 in 4 women will experience some sort of sexual violence in their life. We know that predators are out there. We know that they like to follow us to our car. We know that they like to watch us. The rate in Colorado is 23.8% compared to the national average of 18%. So again, I ask you, women especially, I'm not excluding men, who work late at night, who walk across dark parking lots, plenty in the medical profession, plenty that work at Walmart and other retail centers, that work late at night, that are now walking across their parking lot, sensing that someone is behind them or their eyes are on them. Now, I've got to get to my car, unlock my car, get to the lockbox, unlock the lockbox, and then protect myself. This is absolutely ludicrous. This is not protecting anything. We have the highest rates for auto theft. We have the highest rates for domestic violence. I mean, the list goes on and on. We talked about this the other day. We're the 4th least safe state. And now, instead of keeping people like me and my constituents safe, we're going to require that we lock our guns up for, I don't even know what for what. Because people are stealing cars, so when they steal the cars, guess what's going? The lockbox with the guns. And it's not enforceable anyway. If I get to my car and I brandish my gun, which I've said 1,000,000 times, 500,000 crimes stop when you brandish a gun. Is the cop gonna ask me if I had it in the lockbox? Sure, I'll put the $25 lockbox in there. And I'll make sure I tell that officer that it was properly locked up. We don't legislate like this. We don't legislate to not protect our constituents and go against their constitutional Second Amendment rights. But we keep doing it here. We keep doing it here. We voted down a bill to make stealing a firearm, but we're going to impose civil infractions on people that don't lock up their guns properly. And I just heard someone come up and say the rationale used in killing the representative's bill was that we don't need more people in cages. The thing is, those people in cages would have been guilty of a felony. I believe that we're more worried about putting people in cages. We, on the other hand, should be more worried about people like me being in graves. We continue to pass legislation that continues to make victims while letting criminals off the hook. Is that what we want to tell our constituents? Because that's what this bill does, and I am adamantly against it. Thank you.